Hello everyone, welcome to Excel Dashboard Analytics Intermediate Series. We're now at chapter 8 and we're going to be dedicating the last 3 chapters of this series to the world of conditional formatting. Alright, so you must be wondering, why is conditional formatting so important? Well, what I can say is that conditional formatting, if you mastered it right, it can become a very useful skill you can add onto all your data analytics reports, all kinds of dashboards that you're going to build. You can add it as a nice, fine, polished touch to it so that it looks very professional, alright? So I'm going to show you how you can do all of that in these last 3 chapters of this series. For the first chapter, chapter 8, what we're going to do is we're going to break it down and I'm going to show you the highlight cells rule logic as well as the top and bottom rule logic, alright? There's a couple of different examples I'm going to be going through with you, so just sit tight and listen through. Alright, let's get Excel started. What you're looking at is a pivot table that I've just created with looking at all the sales volumes of all the relationship managers across the different products that they are selling in the year 2015. Alright, so you know, at first glance, when you look at a report like that, you see a lot of numbers, right? So it's not going to be very professional, because when you talk about a very professional report, straight away a very effective report is that it will highlight to you what you need to take note of at first glance. Okay, so with the help of conditional formatting, you can achieve it. Okay, so let's say we want to be highlighting sales volumes that are greater than 1 million. Okay, so maybe 1 million is too low. Let's put it 5 million. Alright, let's click greater than and we put 5 million over here, and then let's put it as green. Okay, so basically Excel has detected that these are the cells that has 5 million sales volumes detected and have highlighted here in green. If you want to see what happens if you change the data set, let's say we move to 2016, then the data set changes accordingly. Alright, we've moved back to 2015, data set changes accordingly. If we look at both 2015 and 2016, then we see more sales volumes that are greater than 5 million. Alright, so if you want to undo the conditional formatting, just click on the conditional formatting and then click clear rules from selected cells. Okay, so that's about it basically for greater than. Same thing for less than and between and equal. Let me just show you. For less than, basically, let's say if you want to put less than 5 million, then all these remainder cells will be highlighted in red. Okay, so it's up to you. If you want to put between, let's say 1 million and 5 million. Okay, there you go. These are all the sales volumes that are between 1 million and 5 million. Alright, so just to show you this thing about the equals to, this equals to is reading the value down to the exact decimals. So in this instance, we can see that, look at the top formula bar here, you can see that all the numbers are sort of like they have decimal places, and it will not be very useful if you use the equal to rule logic here. Okay, unless you literally write down the respective decimal places. Okay, for instance, let me just show you 8,049,115, right? Let me just expand it out. Okay, let me just expand it out like that. We see that there are altogether, this is the total value here. We want to identify this value. Say for instance, you really want to identify this value out of this spreadsheet of numbers. Just click on highlight and then click equal to, and then just enter it in. 8049,114,6979,1915. Okay, there you go. Now you see that it appears there. Alright, the equals to button reads the value down to the exact decimal place. Okay, so basically only use that when you're dealing with whole numbers. I reckon that would be much more easier than having to deal with all these decimal places. Okay, so let me just remove all these rules. So that's about it for highlighting cells with values. For text, that contains dates and duplicate values is basically working around the same logic whereby you key in a criteria. Say for instance text, let's say we want to put George. Alright, you put in George and then it will highlight accordingly. If you do not like the red fill, you can go with the green fill, or you can go with the yellow fill. Alright, it's up to you. And same thing for date as well, is the same thing. I will not go through that. Let's say for duplicate values, this is interesting. I've just added in 3 additional rows here. You see Brian has 3,426,836 for sales volumes. We've got 3 rows here that are duplicates. Okay, if we want to check if they are duplicates, basically just click on conditional formatting, highlight cells, duplicate values, and you see that they're all duplicated. That's why it's all highlighted. Okay, so if you want, this can be a very useful method to help you identify which values within the entire data set you're working on has duplicates involved. Alright, since they are duplicates, I'll just go ahead to remove them. Alright, so I'll just clear them up. Next, we want to look at the top and bottom rule logic. Alright, top and bottom rule logic. Say for instance, I've got all this data here. I want to look at the top and bottom rule logic of top 10 items. There you go. Top 10 items, it will straight away filter it out for me. And then I want to mark the top bottom items as red in color. Alright, so top bottom 10 items, I'll put it red in color. Okay, so it's actually pretty good because at first glance you know what are the top performers and what are the worst performers, and then if you switch around from 2015 to 2016, you can see how it works very intuitively, and it's so much better than static data formatting, right? So this conditional formatting method is actually really useful. So likewise, if I clear the rules and then instead of top 10 items, I go for top 10% and I put it as green, and then bottom 10% I put it as yellow, sorry, red. So it helps you identify in terms of percentage like that. Alright, we can put those that are below average and then those that are above average. Above average, we put it as green. Okay, so that's it. It is very intuitive. Whatever kind of rule logic you want to add in, you can sort of like incorporate it into your data spreadsheet or pivot table. It's all very, very useful. So hopefully this chapter has been very useful for you. We will move on to more advanced conditional formatting in the next chapters. Alright, so I'll see you in the next course. See ya!